Welcome to Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-date news on the political scene of Donald Trump, his presidency, American politics and conspiracies. Please subscribe to receive notice of our daily updates. Also share with your friends and your social media. We encourage you to like our videos and give your comments.
This is TBNN.
Liberal mainstream media suddenly praising Trump because he wants war with Iran. The same mainstream media who's been lambasting President Donald Trump since he was sworn in last year has now taken to supporting him. Why, exactly, are these agencies who've made up countless fake news stories about the president now supporting him, you ask? Well, the short of the answer is war. All mainstream media is beholden to the establishment, and all those in the establishment are beholden to the military-industrial complex. As a result, the president's newfound support from the NY Times, CNN, and the Washington Post should come as no surprise. Leading the way in their support of Trump's stance on Iran was WAPO in a piece on New Year's Day, which echoed the sentiments of Trump. Instead of calling him a moron or making fun of his latest series of irrational tweets, WAPO agreed with Trump's process, claiming that the current Iranian regime will paint the protesters as foreign agents, which they have already done. WAPO even provided Trump a recommendation of not remaining silent but to ensure that U.S. statements of support are broadly multilateral and are backed with more practical steps. Caring not about saving face and sticking to their guns of hatred toward Donald Trump, the NY Times then published a piece on Tuesday praising the president's saber-rattling toward the Iranian regime. In an aptly titled op-ed, "Trump is Right, This Time," about Iran, Roger Cohen, the international affairs and diplomacy writer for The Times, praised Trump and confessed that he actually retweeted the president's threat to Iran. Cohen wrote, "I have a New Year's confession, I retweeted President Trump with approval, not something I had expected to do, especially on the subject of Iran. But Trump has been right to get behind the brave Iranian protesters calling for political and economic change." While Trump's tweet certainly sounds reasonable, it is important to point out that the protests in Iran are hardly peaceful and definitely not comprised of 100% Iranian citizens. As Reuters reports, an Iranian judicial official said on Wednesday a European citizen was arrested in protests in the Boryujerd area of western Iran, but did not specify the nationality of the detainee. This European citizen had been trained by European intelligence services and was leading the rioters. Hamid Razan Ebul Hassani, head of Boryujerd's Justice Department, was quoted by Tanam news agency as saying, "Unfortunately, these non-citizens, who stand accused of fomenting violence in the protests, have America's full support, thanks to Trump, who promises to show that support at the appropriate time. Such respect for the people of Iran as they try to take back their corrupt government. You will see great support from the United States at the appropriate time," Trump wrote in the latest of a series of tweets on Iran's turmoil. While it would be irresponsible to assume all the protesters are foreign actors, it is also irresponsible to assume that it is entirely organic. Consider the following tweet below as evidence toward this assertion. "I wanted to get money from ATM, protester shot at me with a gun, then asked me to say that police shot me, they were non-native," said the Iranian who'd allegedly been shot non-natives while trying to get money out of an ATM. For those who may be unaware, the plan to overthrow Iran has long been in the works. In fact, in April 2012, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh reported that the U.S. Joint Special Operations Command had trained Mojahedin-e-Khalq MEK operatives at a secret site in Nevada from 2005 to 2009. MEK is the Iranian political militant organization that advocates for the violent overthrow of the current Iranian regime. They are hardly quiet about it. According to Hersh, MEK members were trained in intercepting communications, cryptography, weaponry and small unit tactics at the Nevada site until President Barack Obama took office in 2009. Hersh also reported additional names of former U.S. officials paid to speak in support of MEK, including former CIA directors James Woolsey and Porter Goss, New York City Mayor Rudolph Giuliani, former Vermont Governor Howard Dean, Former director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation Louis Freeh and former UN Ambassador John Bolton. Coincidentally, MEC was classified as a terrorist organization by the United States and its allies, during this training period, until they suddenly removed them from the list in 2012. While the current Iranian regime is certainly no bastion of freedom, the idea that U.S. intervention or a violent revolution would be beneficial for the people of Iran is outright insane. To see what U.S. intervention, through military support and the support of protesters, does to countries, one need only look at Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Libya to see the horrific death tolls and war-ravaged dystopias left in America's wake. To those paying attention over the years, Trump's desire to intervene in Iran, and his subsequent support in the media should come as no surprise, as it has been the plan since Bill Clinton was in office and was documented in the neoconservative PNIC report. This was even admitted by General Wesley Clark, former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO, that the U.S. planned on going to war with Iran, according to a 2001 memo from the U.S. Secretary of Defense. This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, Clark said. Starting with Iraq, and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off with Iran. All presidents since Clinton have crossed countries off this list. Now it's Trump's turn. Just in case you think it is a coincidence that the media is supporting Trump in this move, as TFTP reported last year after Trump violated the Constitution by launching dozens of missiles at the sovereign nation of Syria without approval from Congress, the media went into a frenzy. They were bending over backward to show their newfound love of the man who was only just beginning to prove his loyalty to the military-industrial complex. Sadly, so many people are compromising their principles just to keep their support for Trump, who has proven to be just like every other candidate by running on a platform of peace and America first, only to stoke war and bolster the police state.
This has been the Trump Breaking News Network. Please subscribe and share to stay up to date on the latest news about our president. Be informed.